What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. As we get into the thick of the growing season, I thought it would be more appropriate to focus in on a few specific things throughout the garden instead of doing the full walkabout. So today I wanted to talk about my two Pawpaw polycultures that I have growing here in the food forest. Pawpaw A over here was grown and started 6 years ago, and this pawpaw right here was started 5 years ago. So they're about the same age, and they are large enough and old enough at this point in their development to be able to put on some fruit and hold fruit. Now, pawpaw are not very picky with their soil requirements. These two pawpaw polycultures are growing in some pretty sandy soil. I have pawpaws growing at the project site that are growing in fairly clay soil. I've seen pawpaws growing on the side of rivers here in South Carolina. So they're not extremely picky of their growing conditions. Pawpaws do have a very deep taproot, so they're going to be deep diggers. They're digging deep for nutrients, deep in the subsoil. Companions, they are not very picky about their companions. For this pawpaw polyculture, I have quite a few annual companions growing with it right now. Things like squash and zucchini are growing with this pawpaw right now. Let's see if we can find some putting on. Yeah, here we go. So I have vegetables growing with this pawpaw. We also have the standard comfrey as well, which is another deep tap-rooted mineral accumulator that is also growing in this polyculture. And that's basically it. We do have carrots growing not too far from the pawpaw. These are also soil breakers. They help break up the soil. They also put down a deep taproot. And then just some herbs. Now the fertilization comes from our rabbit. We have a rabbit tractoring system here, and I'll move her around. She'll eat up the weeds and poop and basically fertilizes this pawpaw. Now this pawpaw had set flowers this year but did not set any fruit. And I think that's basically because, well, we had a big windstorm, but the branches are not yet thick enough, I think, to be able to handle fruit. And that was a lesson that I learned with this pawpaw polyculture right here, which is producing and putting on fruit this year. So the plant has to be fairly large, pawpaw has to be very big, and the stems need to be fairly sturdy to hold these really giant fruits, these heavy fruit sets. So this pawpaw is putting on quite a bit of fruit. I'm going to walk around deep in here. There's more fruit growing deep in the canopy. So I'm certainly got some fruit set this year. It did take quite a few years. Once again, this one was planted 6 years ago. And the polyculturing with this one is a little more diverse than the other pawpaw polyculture. I have some more perennial companion plants that are in this polyculture of pawpaws, including gumi berry. This is nitrogen fixing, autumn olive. Lots and lots of goldenrod is growing here. These kind of help as a living mulch is what they are. I allow them to grow. And then there's a peach tree not too far from this pawpaw polyculture. Now the peach tree is kind of a dwarf peach tree. I'm trimming it down. It's going to be less dominant in the future. And as this pawpaw continues to get taller and taller, it'll be the dominant overstory species in the landscape. Pawpaws, once they get to be about 4 or 5 years old, they will throw out runners very profusely. And this older pawpaw has spread runners all over the place. So already I have 1, 2, 3 runners. And if I come over here to the side, 4, 5 new runners, 6 new runners. And what you can do in the late winter, early spring, is pull up those runners and replant them, which is what I'm going to be doing this year. So I've replanted quite a few runners at the project site, and I will continue to plant out and sell runners as these pawpaw polycultures continue to grow out and throw out runners. So pawpaw, it's a great one for zone 7 all the way down to zone 10. It does take a while for them to set fruit, and I did have to hand pollinate these this year, but the hand pollination techniques obviously seem to work, and I have quite a bit of fruit set on these for the first time in 6 years. So pawpaw, it's a great one. Try it. It's a very tropical looking plant. I do like how it fits into the landscape. Generally pest-free and disease tolerant. So I hope you all learned something about Pawpaw today. If you have any questions, please just write them down in the description below. Please give us that thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and tap the notification bell as always. Appreciate you all watching. God bless.